So today I want to talk about the pros and cons of recording real drums versus using sample drums. Something like Steven Slate drums or Superior Drummer. Because I think there are a lot more cons to recording real drums than there are just using drum samples. Now, before any of you go and sit Glenn Fricker on me, by the way, his channel's actually awesome. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link below. Now, let me preface that by saying, if you have the ability to record real drums, yes, 100%, every time, real drums, do it. There are no drum samples that will ever touch that. Now, recording drums well isn't, I don't want to say it's not hard, but it's not an unobtainable goal. I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest hurdle in recording real drums is really the cost of entry. You want to record anything else? No problem. Little $100, $200 two-channel interface, you're done. Now sure, I mean, you could get away with recording your drum kit with 2 mics, if it's 1962 and you're the Beatles, or if you're going to use the Glyn Johns technique or the Recorder Man technique, you could get away with 4 mics. But you know, if you're in a hard rock or a metal band, those aren't going to cut it. You're going to need a lot of mics, you're going to need a lot of inputs and preamps, you're going to need a lot of long cables, and you're going to need a number of mic stands. Well, you get the point. It's expensive. And now if you've done all this and you just don't like how your drums sound in your room, well now what do you do? And that's kind of the thing with a drum kit. The exact same drum kit will sound drastically different depending on the room that you put it in. So that's a giant advantage that big studios have over us working at home trying to record drums. A big studio doesn't just have one room, they're going to have multiple rooms. And on top of that, they can alter the way that room sounds like that. They can put big gobos around your drum kit. They can lower down that tent thingy. What the hell's that called? Didn't Eric Valentine invent that? I can't remember. I know he's got one. So in a matter of minutes, they can control how dead sounding or how live sounding the room is to help tailor the drum sound. These are just options we just don't have at home. And unless you have multiple drum kits, multiple snare drums, multiple sets of cymbals, you kind of got what you got. So if what you've got isn't working for what you're trying to record, and this is where drum samples come into play. Now don't get me wrong, they're not perfect either. Toms and kick drums are fine, cymbals are fine, rides, they're usually fine, snares, kind of depends, hi-hats. I mean, the biggest drawback to samples when it comes to snares and hi-hats is a real drummer playing a snare and a hi-hat. There's so many subtle nuances that you can't get that with samples. So, I mean, you do have your trade-offs there. But in the click of a button, you can open up a drum kit and have an awesome sounding kit. Snare drum doesn't work, click a button, you got a new snare. I don't like the sound of this ride, click a button, you got a new ride. There's so much with drum samples that you can change in an instant to get the sound that you're looking for, like it's a no-brainer. And at the end of the day, what's more important, getting your music finished and getting it out there, or waiting until you can record perfect live drums? You might not ever have that opportunity, so you'll just never put anything out. Well, what's the point? Hell, the first 2 6 AM records, James Michael programmed the drums for both of those albums. Why, I don't know. They could have easily gotten a studio drummer in, but that's the route they decided to take. So if using drum samples is what you need to do to get your music done and get it out there, just do it. Don't even think twice about it. I will stress though, at some point though, start looking into learning how to record an actual drum kit. And I mean, you don't have to go spending thousands of dollars right off the hop. You can simply start with 2 overhead mics. Use your program drums, but then blend in real cymbals. You only need a couple overhead mics to do that. And if you can get a really good drum overhead sound, well, you're already on your way. And then when you have a little more money, you can pick up a couple of snare mics, start micing your snare up, and go from there, kind of gradually over time replacing the need to use samples. It's kind of like taking that whole how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time approach to learning how to record a drum kit. And I'd like to hear from you guys on this topic. Let me know in the comments below, are you using real drums, sampled drums? Do you have a preference? If so, what and why? And also don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. It helps the channel out. Anywho, I think that's it for me today. Thanks again for watching. I've been Mr. Jeff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.